Well, I hope you guys are in for a long one. Welcome back to Foxborough Zoo. Everyone, my name is Leaf, and it's so great to have you guys here. If you guys are new here, welcome. So, let's talk about Foxborough Zoo for a little bit before we actually get into what we're actually doing. Most of the first part of the build is just terraforming and stuff, but anyways, Foxborough Zoo is a zoo based in Massachusetts, specifically Foxborough to be exact, home of the Patriots. And we are currently working on our little Andean trail, so if you guys are new to the series, welcome. You can just jump in at any point. In the next episode, we're going to do a little bit of a tour, just of everything so far, and we're actually just in time to start working on our North America section, because as you guys probably have seen, the North America pack was just revealed, and we got 8 new wonderful creatures in there, and I'll tell you what guys, I am beyond excited to get started with the beavers in particular. But of course we have such wonderful stays such as the moose, we have the sea lion, we have the cougar, and stuff we haven't seen yet. We have the prairie dog, which is actually a really interesting choice right there. And we also have, I believe it's the, did I say Arctic fox yet? I don't know. Giant bullfrog or whatever. Still just really amazing choices, so that's going to be really fun to get into. Once we actually get the pack in our hands, that'll be a little bit down the line though, so I hope you guys enjoy what we do. We're gonna probably do some like preparations to begin with. Oh, official alligators, that's gonna be so fun! Oh my god, we can finally flesh out like Estan's build. But moving on from there, we should probably talk about what we're doing right now. So the biggest habitat on the Inca Trail currently is the spectacled bear, and I love these guys. So I was like, I don't know, bears have slowly been making their way to be my favorite animals ever, and the spectacled bear is no exception. So these guys are beautiful, they're big, they're chunky, and they have probably some of the most beautiful parenting out of any other bear. And I really wanted to make a beautiful habitat for them that really does represent how beautiful that they are. I wanted to showcase how well that they really do look. And I don't know, it's just a relatively unknown species. You think of sun bears in Malaysia, you think of sloth bears in India, but the spectacled bear, it's oftentimes seen as like very forgotten. And I don't understand why, because they're so freaking beautiful. They're so cool, and they're the only South American bear. So that's really cool to see like this big apex predator play such a crucial role down there. And of course later down the line we're going to get into the other habitats that we build for, but for the time being we're going to talk about this one. So this one, of course, as you can probably see, this uses the Safari Pack rocks, the Serengeti rocks in particular. I really do love these rocks. They're just so versatile, and they really do flesh out an entire exhibit. It looks absolutely amazing. I don't know, I'm just a really big fan of it. And it plays such a crucial part in getting this entire area to look good. And of course, the whole Safari Pack does. And it's such a wonderful blessing that Nick has done for the community. And I can't wait to see what other scenery packs may come in the future. Wink, wink. Maybe a certain Leaf may be working on one. Wink, wink. But of course, that's neither here nor there. I don't really want to disclose too much on you guys. But of course we're going to talk about what we're seeing right here. So as you can probably tell, I want to have a little bit of an indoor section up there. I wanted the kind of guest to go into this area and kind of experience this little bit of a fallen temple. And you can see that up there. And of course I want to incorporate a little bit of a modern viewing towards like the bottom of the river. And we'll see that in a little bit. But of course we're using NDP's faux tree pack right over here. We're doing our best to really kind of sell the vibe of the area. I think it looks absolutely beautiful in particular. But anyways, I'm just working on this little area over here to really give the guests a little bit more of a bigger view into the area itself. I think this is our first iteration of this, but we kind of scrap it for a more modern looking one. I try and incorporate as much South American architecture as I could in this, but it just really didn't fit well. And of course I want to use these, I don't think these change at all, like the wooden plank roof tilings. I think it actually plays a vital role in making this all look really beautiful. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Just making sure it looks nice. I love the view from in there. It looks so spectacular, and the Arctic wood floor looks amazing in here. I have no clue how it looks this good, but it simply does. And of course you guys know I like to walk around the zoo from time to time. I like to pull inspiration from the rest of the zoo, just make sure I'm fitting the vibes in with each other. I think it looks absolutely swell in Foxboro, and when you see the overhead view, it looks so great. And of course, we're doing a little bit of work back towards the start of the trail. This is right next to the capybaras, and it felt so long ago, oh my god, but no, working on a lot of this, just checking out the rest of the South America section, just making sure it all flows nicely. I should probably bring some more of those, like, fences over, just to kind of fill out the vibes and stuff, but seeing how well that this entire section is turning out, it just makes me so happy. And of course, I like the little bit of role-playing in here, so I put that little cart stand right in the back over there, just so it kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's not operational that day. I really do like the idea of that, just giving it a little bit more storytelling and walking through the rest of the Inca Trail to really kind of but fill out what I feel like could be missing from it. And of course, I want to use the gravel pieces over here. I think they look absolutely amazing as a cover for the water. It just fits it so well. And of course, I want to get our spectacled bears in here. They don't make it into the habitat for quite some time. I think it's not until like halfway through this entire speed build that they actually do get to access there. And also just checking on all my animals, making sure everyone's nice and calm. I do want to make it a point to name all the animals in here. I feel like that's something that really does help to sell a zoo. I'm taking that from good old buddy Estan Wolf. You guys may have heard from him. Go check out his channel if you haven't already. He is an amazing content creator. But of course, I'm also naming all the exhibits as well. I want to stay organized. I'm taking that one from Paulsley. Miss ya, buddy. But of course, I would just want to make sure that everything is nice and organized in this zoo going forward. And of course, I really do want to emphasize that this is a really, really personal project of mine. I really do love how well this is shaping up. I have a few people on the docket for making their way into Foxboro pretty soon, and I'll definitely let you guys know when they do pop in here. I'll be sending out all the teasers and stuff because we have some wonderful stuff planned, and I could not do it without these guys. For instance, Crocs, he's going to be stepping in pretty soon to take care of a little bit of a colder section for us. And get excited for that one because I'm beyond excited for it myself. But that one is going to be absolutely amazing to have. That one's going to be so fun. We're going to have a lot of very interesting animals in there, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. But enough of that. He actually helped out with this one in particular. He did the holding for the spectacled bears, and I don't show much of it in the cinematics, but I will show it off in the tour in the next episode. But it looks absolutely amazing, and I'm so excited to show it with you guys. But of course, here I am just working on the rest of the viewing gallery. You can really see how well it's starting to shape up at this point. I probably should add a legit wall to it, because if you think of Foxborough and Massachusetts, our winters aren't really the nicest to us up here, so having that exposed area in there may prove to be a little difficult, especially since it's a little bit lower down, so I'll definitely work on getting that fixed up pretty soon. And here I do add the little bit of an exhibit. I have the tree frogs in here. I have a whole bunch of them, so every single time you look in the exhibit, you will always be guaranteed to see one at least, so that's good. That's something I really care about with the exhibits, being able to like quickly peek in and see the animal standing out right there. I don't know, it's just very important to me when it comes to that stuff. But of course, just trying to hide the rest of it. I may go back and do some roots as well. Also, my buddy Stoppable Son, he's working on a little bit of a nocturnal house specifically geared towards South America. So we'll actually be seeing a little bit of that in the final tour as well, once I actually figure out a place where that will be. And of course, foliage. So foliage is a very important part of this habitat in particular. At first, I wasn't really sold on the habitat. I was like, maybe it's not that good, but my good buddy Forge as well, hello Forge, actually recommended that I do the foliage as soon as possible and get it looking nice and pretty and lush as soon as I could, and it really does help to sell it. And here I am giving Crocs like the blueprint of how much area he would have to work with. You saw me lay down like tiles and stuff like that. But of course, here I am doing a little bit more rock work, excuse me, and yeah, just getting everything to look beautiful. And it really does in the end. Sorry if I'm like taking these quick breaks to talk. But yeah, of course, the keepers were getting stuck on this one piece of path over here. That is due to the Kai Path free place mod. It's very finicky when you actually work with it, but it is so worth it once you actually figure out like how it works and the ways you're able to manipulate it, and it works out so well because of that. And of course, we finally get our bears in the exhibit. They are going to be so happy. You'll see them climbing around. You'll see them like kind of finding new areas to get involved in. I add the little glass viewing right there. That's probably my favorite view in the entire habitat, besides like the one down below. But this one just came out so well. I love how well it turned out. But anyways, just adding these small little viewing areas for all the guests. No matter where you go, you can always get like this nice, very different angles into the exhibits, and I continue this wood patterning throughout this entire exhibit as well. Just making sure to copy that. Nick did mention that it seems a little bit too brown, so I will go back and I'll add a bunch of color via signs. Thank you so much, Forge, by the way, for helping me out with that. But yeah, just getting all these realism elements into Foxboro will definitely go a mile when it comes to that. And of course, we're finishing up the rest of the viewing areas over here. I really do love... Oh yeah, the bear made it to the top of the habitat, so that was kind of funny to deal with. But of course, we are just making sure that everything looks organic, making sure that everything looks like everything was placed there with a purpose. And I feel like I do sell that pretty well. I feel like everything does seem to flow pretty well. And I feel like that's something else that I really wanted to emphasize when going through this entire, like, section, is having these separate areas for the animals, because you can have one path and have it go straight essentially, and have on the left you see the main wolves, yay, and then on the right a little bit further down you see the bears, yay. But in this one I really want to separate those sections really well, and I feel like it really did work out for the best when you kind of like guide yourself through this little bit of a tour. You go through the bear track, and then you see like the guinea pigs, and you learn about how they're used as food sources. Oh, by the way, guinea pigs are used as food sources, so I'll get into that when we actually get to the guinea pigs. Of course, no guinea pig mod, by the way. Very small creatures. Maybe when the beaver comes out, I'll make one based off of them, but we'll actually see about that because they're so friggin' tiny. I don't know if they're even worth it. But of course, setting up some more roofing as well over here to make sure that this is entirely enclosed. I feel like it sells it pretty well once you actually get in there, and using custom foliage to really sell this. I love that beautiful big tree over there. I think that was done by ZZ. I could be entirely mistaken. And adding like with a hammock over here, I have not seen them use a hammock. I'm not even sure if they're able to, but I just want to add it just to be safe. And of course I want to add a little bit more realism over here, so I add this little bit of a kind of like concrete, maybe plaster look over there as a way to get some venting out there for some animals, just as, you know, a means to make that happen. And of course, enrichment is going to play a huge role in this as well. It really does help to sell that this is an exhibit for animals in a zoo. And getting enrichment in there is one of the best ways to fill out that realism element, just making sure that you're able to care for your animals properly. And I know some of it may look a little ridiculous, a soccer ball in particular, but you know, even real zoos have that. So I feel like getting those in there will really help to sell it pretty well. And I think it turns out really good in the end. And I do add a little bit of a seating area down here, and I use one of Eben's Thermashati blueprints to get a little drink stand, and you can see it right here. I will be working, speaking of the little scenery pack from before, I will be working on getting some new vending options for guests. Little shops, I guess you could consider them. But we'll actually get to that when we get there. I will have like all the elements on that explained pretty soon. The pack is moving along swiftly. We're hitting a few bumps, but I'll tell you what, you'll say crikey at it. But that's all the hints I'm gonna give. But anyways, we're doing also an aviary over here. Forgot I even did this, but it's for, I believe it's for the king vulture. I could be entirely mistaken, but it's a very neat species. I don't know. I just wanted to have a aviary in here. I felt like it was a perfect little overlook in there. And when you're looking at it from the farm, you can just see the sight lines start to pick up. And I really do want to build this zoo on a hill, just so you could see like the beautiful, like, I don't know, just how well the zoo is coming out. Maybe even have a section that's a little bit more of a valley. I don't know why I paused right here, but I'll probably come back. There we go. So I really did. Oh yeah, by the way, I add a little bit of staff access right there, just so they're able to access the birds and stuff like that. You know, add that little bit of realism. You guys know how we feel about realism and all that stuff. You know, I feel like it's pretty neat. But yes, so we're actually halfway through the video. Oh my god. So I do want to emphasize, if you guys are not subscribed already, I'm gonna shill. Hell yeah, I will. Definitely consider subscribing, because this, I don't know, you'll see a lot more of this series in particular, and I'm so proud of this series. I love how well Foxboro came out. It started off as just a little bit of a smaller project, but as all projects do turn out, they become bigger and bigger and grander, and it just becomes like, you know, this beautiful exploration of like your deepest creativity, and I don't know, it's just very personal. So if you guys are interested in seeing how Foxboro will come out like in the end, definitely do consider subscribing. But that's all the shilling I will do. I also add a couple more viewing areas over here for the guests as well through these like beautiful temple pieces. The South America pack. Can we talk about that stuff for a little bit? I love the South America pack so much. And the Australia pack, even working with it, it's such a wonderful pack that I feel like not a lot of people gave credit for or give credit to anymore. I know a lot of people say Aquatic is the best pack ever, but no, I really do feel like South America and Australia plays really integral roles in just how wonderful you're able to build zoos. And I don't know, I feel like I should really be advocating for a lot more credit for that. But anyways, we just keep chugging along, and of course, we're working on a little bit more, I don't know, purpose for the water feature up here. A little bit more storytelling of the water. Where does the water come from? Who really is the water? And of course the water is just water, but we're working on getting some like ventilation, not ventilation, but vents. Adding vents in for the water. Spigots, spouts, I don't know. Words really do escape me, but I really did want to add a little bit water element in here. I know as a kid, I always loved water elements in zoos, and I still kind of do, but just having those play a big part into like the zoo experience for kids in particular really is important. And getting that little bit of a splash feature in there with a little bit of pool, piece de resistance, I love it. So I really did want to include that. I also add some more planks over here to kind of like flesh out this entire wall. I felt like that was a necessary inclusion over there just to really, I don't know, sell it a little bit more. I just think it came out pretty neat in the end. I think it's, I don't know, it's just shaping up really nicely, and I love the colors. I know a lot of people may have a problem with like the muted color. I love the bear statue over here, by the way. It came out so nice. I know a lot of people might not really like the muted colors in this entire section, but I feel like it does give it a lot of character and a lot of charm because we do have colorful animals in here. We're gonna have the jaguar, we're gonna have the spectacled bear, which, you know, it's still kind of like relatively grayscale, but they're still beautiful nonetheless. And we also have beautiful king vultures. We have the Patagonian maras, we have capybaras, we have all the birds in the bird section. That is amazing to have. And we also have the jaguar coming up. Did I say jaguar? We also have the lynx too. And these are just all such beautiful, bright colored animals, and I feel like they really do help to, I don't know, really sell how colorful this entire zoo really is. And I feel like it works against the kind of section of the zoo really well in terms of like the color palette and stuff. Okay, so over here, we're getting to my favorite part of the entire Andean trail, the Inca trail, sorry. It's the Iberian lynx exhibit, and now you may be saying, Leaf, here's a friggin' map, kid. Iberian lynxes aren't from South America. Well, I do want to have a little bit of storytelling when it comes to this entire section, and because it is based off of the Inca, I did want to have a little bit of a history lesson in here. And because the Inca were taken over by the Conquistadors in Spain, I really did want an animal to represent that. And we don't really have too many Spanish animals, but one that stands out in particular that I feel like this entire section could use is another feline, and that one being the Iberian lynx. And I don't know, it's just a pretty neat inclusion. Of course, I used Mayor G's Eurasian lynx in here. It looks so beautiful. It has this beautiful rusty coating to it, and I feel like it comes out so well in the end. I don't know, it's just a very neat inclusion, and I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. I hope you guys are too, and I'm not sure how well this is gonna sell with like the rest of the community, but having a section based off of conquistadors, I'm not sure how you guys feel about that, but I felt like it was a really wonderful explanation as to where the Inca went, because you may be wondering, like, oh my god, it's just all a bunch of like abandoned buildings and stuff like that, Machu Picchu. But there are explanations as to why we don't have certain cultures anymore, and I feel like the Incas are no exception to that rule. It really is important to kind of educate about the history of these people and what led to their demise, and I feel like, I don't know, it's just a really good opportunity to educate about them. No, I really do hope you guys enjoy that a little bit, but of course I'm working on a little bit of a viewing platform over here. We do have a few views into the habitat via chain link and stuff like that, but this is your main viewing area, and I think it came out pretty well. I don't know what I based this off of. I think it was just like a random design that I wanted to do, but I think it turned out pretty damn well in the end. I don't know, I really do love these simple viewing areas, and I actually do have a scenery mod that may come into very much play when it comes to actually getting that fully released for you guys, so I'll show it off in a little bit. Hopefully within the next week we'll get it all tied up with the bow, but it may take a little bit longer. I think it may come out after the North America pack, but of course we'll get there when we get there. I really do love how well this exhibit came out, and I gotta give a hand to both Trico and Nick for the main centerpiece of this entire like section. But we'll actually get there when we get there. It's a Conquistador statue. It looks absolutely beautiful. And we'll get there. But anyways, I'm working on a Conquistador flag over here just to really sell like the theming in this area. I feel like Foxboro has such a wonderful opportunity for theming, and it really does play out extremely well. I don't know, I just really do love how well it came out. And I don't know, just adding to like all these elements, I was led on to the idea of having like this little bit of a conquistador town based upon the ruins of Aztec like areas. So I do incorporate a little bit of that. I do a little bit of staff access back here as well. I may flesh it out with like an actual building later down in the future, just so you have people to take care of, like, you know, the peccaries and stuff like that, even though they're in the same enclosure as the Patagonia Maras. But you can see me start to incorporate these beautiful Spanish arches. I really do love how well this like centerpiece of the habitat came out. It's just a facade, nothing crazy, no interior whatsoever. I think the cats really do love to sleep up there. We also only have one lynx in here. Not really sure why. I just felt like one was a perfect like way to showcase the animal. I don't know, I feel like that's something important too that I feel like a lot of people can certainly look into when they're making their exhibits, is how many of an animal you're hoping to include in a single exhibit. Because I in particular love to really emphasize, like, you know, maybe there's only one in here, maybe there's a breeding pair that they got from another zoo, maybe there's a whole slurry of them that they kind of got like on a trade deal of something. And you can see me start to like come up with ideas of what to put for the statue over here. We do end up using the Safari Pack horse, which came out really well. I also use the Safari Pack boxes over there. By the way, how are you guys enjoying the Safari Pack? I know it's been a little bit since it came out, and I know you guys may be enjoying it to your fullest extent. I'm so excited to see like everyone start to use it for like North American builds and stuff like that. I'll try and have that updated as soon as I can, if you guys have already seen the news about me taking care of Nick's mods and stuff like that. But I don't know, just very interesting horizons on the future. And of course I need to include a little bit of fencing as well, and I love using the chain link for sections like this, just as the perfect way to really emphasize, yeah, we're bringing you back to reality. It's not the perfect zoo. We still can't really hide chain link and stuff like that, but we make it good for the animals, and we do our best to kind of hide it from the people. Now, it's not completely hidden, but I feel like it still comes out pretty well in the end. And of course, we're just putting the finishing touches on the fencing all around this habitat as well. They're able to kind of climb onto the roof of this, so we actually do add some barriers, chain link barriers via the help of Stoppable San. He has these on the workshop. They're like carnivore barriers, so if you usually have cats that are able to climb, be it like jaguars and stuff like that, snow leopards, you need to have sort of angled barriers at the top so they're not really able to climb out and escape. And I feel like that was a perfect inclusion for the lynx, which is a very arboreal cat, feline, I guess you could say. And I don't know, you'll just see it when we actually get there. I think it's in the next section of the speed build, just checking out the horizons as well. but I really do love how well this one came out. And of course, Jar Jar, I put Jar Jar in there just for a second to see like scale. But of course the horse looks so beautiful over here. But we'll actually get to the actual blueprint in just a little bit. He sends it to me in the next section of the speed build. I just use this for reference over here, just kind of like getting a good idea of how it should look. But we actually do fix it up later down the line, so we'll get there when we do get there. Ah, wow, this is exhausting. I was looking for statues as well over here. Just trying to find something else. To sneak in here. And Drac has some beautiful statues, but of course they're not really flexi colors, so that's a little bit of a bummer. And it was a little too big as well. I think he actually made that for Crocs' Aborg Zoo recreation. By the way, go check that out if you haven't. We need to start it over, unfortunately, but it looks even better now. But definitely do check that out. I'm running out of things to talk about, guys. I hope we get to the Peccary exhibit soon so we could make funny jokes about its scientific name. But yeah, just generally keeping theming consistent through this entire thing. This is what I love over here. So the building looked way too clean to me, so I destroyed it. So I felt like it was a little too clean. It looked a little too, I don't know. I just wanted to give it a little bit more character. So I do make it like half destroyed, half toppled over and stuff like that. I do add a lot of elements from the Safari Pack, and it looks so good in the end. So I use like the mud pieces, the mud pillar, to kind of like really do sell it on that. And I do add the lynx right here, only one of our little friends, just to really sell the idea that this is a living, breathing habitat. And this is something I also take from Stan Wolf. Stan, if you're watching, hello my friend. But he has this wonderful technique of including the animals while you're building. I know it seems like a little bit of a hassle trying to build with an animal in the habitat, but it really does help to really give you a sense of scale. It really does help to give you a sense of where the animal will go, where the animal likes to spend its time, and where you should build for the guests and stuff like that. And it really does help, in the end, just to really help build better habitats, and I cannot recommend it enough. And of course, here we go with the actual blueprint. Guys, it looks so freaking spectacular. So definitely do go share some love with Trico and Nick on the workshop, on their channels and stuff like that if you are interested. They look absolutely fabulous in here. And I do add the enrichment as well. Again, it's very important to get enrichment for all animals, making sure that everything looks so nice in here. And yeah, just checking their Zoopedia and make sure that they're not from Spain, just so I'm not like, you know, lying to you guys about that. But yeah, I do add some scaffolding as well. I don't really know why. I really have no idea why, but it just gave it more climbing area. I actually think that's the reason why. So lynxes do require a lot of climbing area, and I wanted to integrate it organically within the habitat, and I felt like climbing structures, like scaffolding, really would help to sell it pretty well. And this is actually very like Stone Zoo in New England. A little bit above Boston. It's part of the Zoo New England kind of chain, but they really do integrate some like mining towns and stuff like that, kind of like this. And I feel like I really did replicate what they had going on there without actually having been there before, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, just adding a little bit more storytelling with like the rubble pieces and stuff like that, making sure everything looks nice. And here we go, adding the adding a lot more climb-proof fencing and stuff like that. The lynxes are able to get on the top of the roof of the actual viewing gallery, so that is a little bit it's not good. So I just say screw it and cover it up with another chain link thing. So thank you, San, for that. And of course we continue that down into the trees, and we can just imply that there's stuff behind the trees. We're not going to go the lengths to actually incorporate that within the trees when we don't even see it to begin with. Definitely take the shortcuts that you need to in order to get yourself in order to not let the creative flame die out. That's my little life lesson of the day. Just make sure you keep that creative flame a-burning. And of course, here we go, doing it on top of that little habitat right there. Oh my, have I really been talking all this time? That's actually crazy. I'm surprised if you guys actually listen to this point, because that will be amazing. But anyways, we're working on a little bit more of this going forward, just making sure that we have this all nice and set up, making sure that everything flows nicely with the chain link pieces. I don't know, I'm just a very big fan of how well this is all shaping up. It really does look so beautiful in the end. Trust me guys, we have some lovely cinematics at the end. You guys are going to absolutely love it. You're gonna go ham for it. And speaking of ham, guess what we have next on our little list? Yes, we are making the hog exhibit, not hog, but Peccary exhibit, but we'll get there when we get there. I'm doing a little bit more foliage work around this entire trail because I would like to sneak the Africa section or maybe even like the Asia section pretty soon in here, and I do want to include more transportation going forward. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to make my own transportation. That'd be really funny if I'm able to. I'll definitely try and figure that out pretty soon. Maybe that might be my big 1.7 project, but we'll see soon enough. But essentially just getting everything to look good over here. Adding some education, so I wanted to have some universal education across the board. And I don't know, it just really came out super well. I love the style of like these, I don't know, like how well it came out. I have no idea how to tiptoe around it. It looks so freaking beautiful. And it just flows with the style so well. The education boards, everything, it looks so nice. Just including them with every single exhibit through here, I feel like we're really rounding this out to be such a beautiful experience. And of course this was a little too short, so I heightened that up a little bit. Now guests are able to sneak in there if they are under 6 feet, that is. If you're over 6 feet, listen, shorties, we get the win this time around. But of course adding a lot more foliage. Bamboo. Let's talk about bamboo for a second. Bamboo is amazing in zoos. And if you're building for a taiga zoo, if you're building for a temperate, if you're building for a tropical, you gotta include bamboo. It's the perfect filler plant. It's the perfect plant if you're trying to fill up large areas and stuff like that. You can see me start to like go through the exhibits because I'm kind of bored. But just essentially making sure that everything looks nice in here, making sure that everything flows nicely. I don't know, I'm just a very big fan of how well this all came out. I'm so happy with how well this entire section is coming out. But yeah, here we are kind of figuring out what to do over here. Just starting the Peccary exhibit, I think in the next section right here. And we do include a little bit of the Jaguar section as well, so you guys get a little sneak peek into that. I do try and keep that under wraps later on, but we'll actually get there in its own episode. We might sneak 1 or 2 more animals into that as well. I don't know, we will see later down the line, but I'm really loving how well this is coming out. I add a little bit of a playground element over there as well, just to keep the kids entertained. I do want to have like a larger playground section later on. Maybe in North America we can have a little bit of like a beaver splash pad. I know I integrated that in in Blackstone Zoo, but I really do want to have a much bigger one going forward since we're officially getting beavers. Also, here we are making a Peccary exhibit, scientific name Sus. That's your one Among Us joke for the entire video, so enjoy that. So of course we are going forward, we are just copying a lot more of the elements from the other exhibits, making sure that everything flows nicely. And of course we're using those beautiful Serengeti rocks. I love how well they came out. And of course just making sure everything else looks nice, making sure everything nice flows and stuff like that. I don't know, I'm just very happy with this entire section. I know this sounds like I'm pretty exhausted right now, probably because I am, because, you know, the Planet Zoo drama, it's just great right now, but I don't know, I still love building for you guys. I hope you guys really do appreciate Foxborough Zoo, because it's such a wonderful project of mine, and I hope you guys really do appreciate it going forward. I love this project, and I love how you guys love this project. I love seeing all the comments like, oh my god, Leaf, it looks so nice and stuff like that, but I love seeing you guys just here for every single episode, even the Kalahari Zoo episodes. I know all 800 of you guys still do appreciate that, and I know a lot more people appreciate Foxborough and stuff like that. It just really does mean a lot. And of course, I don't know, I'm just getting a little sentimental right here. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm gonna take a little sip of my drink right here, because I did not do that through the entire video. And of course, my mouth is very dry. But of course, getting a lot more of these elements of foliage in the hog habitat. I keep on saying hog, even though it's a peccary, but whatever. I didn't want it to be anything special, because of course, it's just a peccary. It's kind of like a throwaway animal. I love them so much, but let's be honest, they're not really given the long end of the stick when it comes to zoos. Even the Barbarossa habitat of Roger Williams, it's just a pit. It's nothing crazy. But still, I want to give it a little bit of love at least, make sure it looks nice and realistic in the end, and just decorating the rest of the areas as well, making sure everything looks beautiful, especially with foliage, making sure that this feels like you're going through this wonderful little experience within the zoo, having the storytelling elements be present throughout the entire thing. I feel like that's one of the most important things when it comes to developing zoos like this. And of course, we also work on the guinea pig enclosure over here as well, so you might see it pretty soon. Just working on like the surrounding rock area of it, and we actually do copy from the Patagonia Mara exhibit over here just how well this exhibit is going to work. So of course we're doing small mammal exhibits, making sure that like they're, I don't know, making sure that they're displayed properly. I would have liked to enclose this, but you know what, we're trusting our visitors in here. We're leaving it totally open-faced. Guests would be able to reach right in there, but we're going to have signage, and we'll probably have like a keeper over there at all times. I don't know, that's just like my role-playing, having a little bit of sand in there as well, and covering up the backside of that as well, just making sure that everything flows nicely. I'm a really big fan of how well this is coming out, guys. I love this so much. But of course we're decorating this so much. Oh yeah, by the way, guinea pigs, we should probably talk about them. Yeah, guinea pigs were originally bred as a food source for the Incas, and now they're actually being used for food sources for a lot of mainline African countries because they're so cheap to care for, they're so cheap to breed, they breed quickly, they grow quickly, and they're just a very sustainable food source. I know a lot of people think they're very adorable, I do too, but it's just a reality, and you know what, Foxborough Zoo is all about education, so teaching people that these guys do have a purpose in the real world, and even though the purpose really isn't nice, it's just something that's reality, and that's something I also try and include within the petting zoo as well. But here we are, putting the finishing wraps on the entire speed build. Here's the cinematics. Alright, but that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by. This was a really fun episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry I'm a little tired right now. You guys probably know everything that's happening. If you don't, just ask someone. I'm sure someone else will be able to relay the entire information onto you. But enjoy the rest of the cinematics, guys. Just enjoy the B-roll. I really do appreciate you guys. Take care, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the Jaguar exhibit. Bye-bye now.